Welcome to the episode 39 summary of the Reading Finnegans Wake in 200 Sessions podcast, where we analyze Finnegans Wake by James Joyce 3 pages at a time. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment to support us. Okay, so James Joyce's Finnegans Wake. It's got a reputation, right? Probably one of the most famously difficult books ever written. But what if I told you there's a key to unlocking its secrets? Well, today that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to crack the code by building a biography of the book's central mysterious dreamer, a man known only as HCE. If we can understand him, we can start to understand this masterpiece.
You read the book and you run into lines like this all the time. A three-faced stone head on a white horse hill? At first glance, it feels like pure nonsense. But it's not. It's actually a clue. The whole book is like a giant puzzle box, and today we're going to find the key. This one line, you see, fuses ancient Celtic mythology with real English geography, and that mixing and matching is the exact method we're here to unpack.
I mean, it's the question on everybody's mind when they pick up Finnegans Wake. The book just feels impossible, impenetrable. But what if there's a method, a way to see through all that fog? There is, and it's by building a biography of the dreamer at the very center of it all.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about how to even approach Joyce's completely unique dream language. Then, we'll start building our main character, HCE, layer by layer. We'll start with his public, historical self, then dig into his mythic, archetypal identity. After that, we'll look at the actual words Joyce uses to build him. And finally, we'll put it all together to see what it all means.
Okay, first things first, you have to change how you read. You just can't look for a simple straight-line story. It's not there. You have to think of it more like a dream or maybe a collage. Joyce doesn't just tell you things, he accumulates. He builds his characters and ideas by layering reference on top of reference, image on top of image, until this incredible multifaceted picture just emerges.
So, to crack this code, we're going to use Joyce's own method, but kind of in reverse. We're going to peel back all those layers and put together a biography of the book's main man, a character known only by his initials, HCE. He's going to be our guide through this wild linguistic labyrinth.
Let's start with the most concrete, tangible layer of HCE, the public figure. See, he's not just some abstract idea floating around. He is deeply, deeply rooted in the history and the geography of a very real place, Dublin.
This is where it gets really clever. Joyce literally embeds the initials of 7 different real-life Lord Mayors of Dublin right into the text. So HCE isn't just like a historical figure, he is a composite of them. He embodies the city's entire civic history in his very being.
And it's not just people. Joyce also builds HCE out of the city's actual physical landscape. The text just lists off these real bridges that cross Dublin's rivers and canals: Annesley, Binns, Balls, Newcomen. HCE is a man, sure, but he's also the stone and steel holding the city of Dublin together.
So, we've got the public man, the historical man, the Dublin man. But trust me, Joyce is just getting started. This concrete foundation, it's all there to support something much, much bigger.
All right, now we move to the mythic layer, and this is where HCE completely transforms from a citizen of Dublin into an archetype of, well, all of humanity. He becomes a figure who contains all of history, all of legend, and the great repeating cycles of life itself. Joyce structures HCE's life around this philosophical idea from an 18th century thinker named Giambattista Vico. Vico had this theory that history moves in cycles, a divine age of gods, then a heroic age of heroes, and then a human age of people, which is always followed by collapse and a return to the beginning. The book totally mirrors this, describing HCE's life through thunder and marriage and burial, and the promise of a return. His personal story becomes the story of all civilization.
HCE basically becomes a container for countless myths. I mean, within just a few pages, he's King Arthur at his final battle. He's the Egyptian god Osiris. He's the prophet Muhammad. He's the Irish hero Finn Macwell, the Roman emperor Vespasian, and the Chinese sage Confucius. He is a pantheon in one man.
So, you have to be asking yourself, how is it even possible for Joyce to pack all of this history and myth into one character? Well, he does it by basically reinventing language itself. HCE's composite nature is reflected in the very words used to describe him. It's a fusion of puns, portmanteaus, and dozens of different languages. Let's just look at one example, the word pedestal, okay? In this single word, Joyce gives us 3 totally distinct images all at once. A mushroom, from the Dutch word paddenstoel, a pedestal, suggesting a place of honor, and Paddy, a nickname for an Irishman. The character is sitting on all 3 of these ideas at the exact same time.
Here's another one, Pentecostitis. He smashes together a major Christian holiday, Pentecost, with 2 really painful medical conditions, peritonitis and cholecystitis. In a single word, he connects these huge themes of spiritual revelation with physical suffering and decay. It's brilliant.
And it's not just meaning, it's also about sound. This nonsense phrase, hic hec hox, is a pun on the way generations of schoolboys were forced to memorize Latin grammar. Hic hec hoc. The very sound of the word brings up this feeling of education, discipline, and maybe just a little bit of childhood trauma.
So, at the end of the day, Joyce's language really does work like a collage. Every single word is a space where multiple languages and ideas and histories can all live together. Reading it means learning to see not just one meaning, but all of them, all at once.
Okay, we've seen HCE as a public figure, a mythic archetype, and a linguistic creation. So now let's put all these pieces together and figure out what Joyce's grand purpose for this character really was.
It all comes back to these 3 letters, HCE. This isn't just a name, it's an acronym. It's the key that unlocks the entire character. Joyce, of course, buries the answer right in the text. He gives us a Latin translation for the initials, Heredatis Columna Erecta, which means the lofty column of inheritance. HCE is a monument, a pillar representing all of human history and the legacy that gets passed down through all the generations.
But of course, that's not all. He also gives us a Greek version, Hagion Chiton Erephon, which means holy garment of a kid. And this just adds another layer, connecting HCE to themes of sacredness, innocence, and maybe even sacrifice, almost like a scapegoat figure.
And finally, we get to the most famous explanation of his name. HCE stands for Here Comes Everybody. He is not just one man sleeping and dreaming in Dublin. He is the universal human. He is all of us. He contains the collective memories, the myths, the languages, the triumphs, and the failures of our entire species.
And that really brings us to the final thought. Joyce built a character who embodies the totality of human experience. It just makes you wonder, right? If one fictional man can contain all of history, what hidden depths of myth, language, and shared inheritance are just waiting to be discovered inside each of us?